Chris Sims, Pro Football Talk Live co-host, Football Night in America, and his Unbuttoned podcast, former legendary quarterback. Just ask him. Chris Sims joining us on the program.
Wow, you don't ask me because I'm not going to say I'm a legendary quarterback. I don't know who you're getting me confused with. Maybe a legendary mouth, all right? And maybe I got that, but not a legendary quarterback.
Okay,
sorry.
Speaking of legendary quarterbacks, help me understand these rankings that you have. Do you have Patrick Mahomes as the fourth best quarterback going into this season?
As of right now, I do, yeah. I mean, it's not easy. First off, I think we got to talk about, when you talk about the top four quarterbacks in football right now, I would argue it's as good as the top four as we've ever had in the history of the game, right? All in their prime, all a similar age, right? It's hard to find ever. I know we had like Elway, Marino, Montana, right, in the mid-'80s, okay, but who was the fourth? I'm not sure. We'd want to throw into
Jim
that.
Kelly?
Jim Kelly, right, but he didn't really show up until late 80s. But, yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
That would probably be one. I'm with you there. Well, you had Aikman and Steve Young and Brett Favre in the mid-'90s and that crew there, right? And I'm probably missing another guy that could cross over into that.
Warren Moon.
Warren Moon, exactly right. Great call by you. You get to the 2000s and you go, man, Brady, Breeze, Brett Favre, right? Manning, holy crap, that was a good four. This is a special four. Right. So it's nitpicky here. But
okay,
yes,
give me your
now,
four. Give me a number one quarterback in football going into this season is
Lamar Jackson, number one. I think when you look at it from game-by-game basis, consistency, playing at an extremely high level, Lamar Jackson's done that better than everybody in football, probably over the last 2 years, but especially last year. And listen, I went into this thinking I was probably going to have Josh Allen number one. I really thought that. But as I started to watch film and break it down and go through it, I just went, I mean, every game, Lamar Jackson, it's great play from the pocket, it's great decisions, it's versatile throws all over the field. When nothing's there, something good still happens, right? So that's where Lamar Jackson, to me, has separated himself. But it was hard. I mean, Joe Burrow could have won the MVP. Josh Allen did win the MVP, and I voted for him, just so you know that, right? And then Mahomes, who's maybe the greatest quarterback I've ever seen in my life, or certainly in that conversation. Okay, he's mastered winning. I understand that. But winning is also not just a quarterback thing. We've gotten a little too carried away with just giving the quarterback winning all the time. I don't love that. Now, he's mastered that, and he's as clutch as can be, certainly. But I think if you sat and watched film with me, especially last year and even the year before, and we went game by game and we looked at it, you'd go, yeah, Lamar Jackson's playing the position a little bit better right now. But it is tough because Mahomes, too, knows his team. Third down. Okay, wait, I could fit it in there. Oh, no, I'll just throw it in the dirt, incomplete. My defense is awesome. It'll keep us in the game. I don't think like Josh Allen and Joe Burrow have that luxury. They don't have the luxury to do that. It's like, oh, no, if you don't complete that, the other team's going to get the ball and go down and score on you guys right now. So you got to make it happen. And so that's where it was really tough with the top four, Dan. And damn, I still can't believe I got Mahomes number four either. I'm shocked by it.
Chris Sims, Pro Football Talk Live co-host with Mike Florio, precedes this show Monday through Friday. We have tiers of pressure, so levels of pressure. And level one, we had Ravens on there, had the Bills on there. Anybody else, any other team or player that you would like to put on that list? Are the Lions on that tier one, level one pressure?
I don't know if I'm going to put it there. Their expectations are high, but I think it's a little different than maybe some of the ones you just talked about. I think Miami Dolphins have some pressure. I do. You know, there's a lot of talk about they can never win tough physical games. Are they gritty enough? All of that, right?
Well, the coach is under pressure.
The coach is under pressure. I feel like Tua's under pressure
but
too.
He's still got that
contract.
He's got that contract.
No, I know, but at some point you got to start putting it up. But I think that would be just another team I would throw in that conversation. Okay. Right. The Steelers, I think, probably get in that conversation now, especially with Aaron Rodgers, because the coach, the quarterback, they haven't won a playoff game in who knows how long. I'd throw them in there with it. Dak Prescott would probably be the guy I would put in and say, I don't think there's more pressure than anybody in football than Dak Prescott, in my opinion. You're the highest paid quarterback in the league. I don't think you're one of the top 10 quarterbacks in football. I don't think a lot of people would think you're a top 10 quarterback in football, right? They haven't had playoff results there or anything as well. So I look at Dak Prescott to be one of the guys I would say is under maybe the most pressure out of anybody in football.
Wow. Yeah, but the over-under is 7.5 wins. There's no expectations on them.
I get it, but that's what I don't understand is like sometimes quarterbacks get expectations about who you are and what you are, and you got to carry the team. And here we go, the highest paid guy, and we're just like, we don't expect anything from you, and that doesn't make sense, not to me at least. And I do think the team is a little more talented than the public is giving it credit for. I do. I look at them, and I think they're one of those teams that could be a surprise playoff team. There's not a whole lot of weakness with their roster, but again, the play has not been stellar. The results have not been stellar. The most stellar thing the last few years has been the amount of zeros on his contract, and I think you got to start justifying some of that too. Trevor Lawrence, I'd throw in that book there too, Dan.
Yeah, I was going to put him second level. I would put Jordan Love in there at second level pressure.
Yep, I hear you.
I'd put J.J. McCarthy in there. There's pressure because this is a team that was great. Your quarterback is gone, and they passed on Aaron Rodgers. You got the best receiver in football. You got a great head coach. So we want to see what J.J. McCarthy's all about.
Right. I think so, too. I'm with you there, too. A ton of pressure on him. I think that's why they flirted with Aaron Rodgers a little bit early in the offseason because of all the things you're talking about. They're looking at it going, I think we're kind of in the Super Bowl window. And I'd go, yeah, I agree. The team itself, when you take the other 52 guys, you go, oh, damn, the Vikings are good, and they made themselves better this offseason. But the quarterback is the question mark, right? And we'll see. I think they like him. He fits, I think, what they and how they want to play there. He has played pro-style football, right? Playing in Michigan where it's Jim Harbaugh, and you might go 8 plays in a row where you don't throw the ball, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, you got to make a big throw for us. We didn't get you in rhythm, but now throw a bullseye 25 yards down the field. He did that consistently, but I'm with you. There is a lot of pressure on him.
What are the Steelers getting on the field with Aaron Rodgers?
They're getting something better than I thought I was going to see. Getting back to my quarterback rankings and a little bit with Rodgers, he was one of my pleasant surprises when I went back and watched. I think at the second half of the year, when he finally accepted who he was and what he was capable of, I thought more times than not, the games are pretty damn good. I think once he realized he can't move around, he's not going to be able to make magic happen anymore. Those days are done. You're confined to the pocket. Right? And within that, stayed in the pocket last year and was aggressive throwing the ball down the field late in the year. That, to me, was the encouraging thing because that's been my number one knock on him the last 3 or 4 years. Not aggressive enough, not playing to win, playing more to not to lose instead of going to get the game and winning it and taking it by the reins. The Steelers' offense has not been good for the last few years. They've been hampered by quarterback play where, defenses, they kind of know what to expect from their offense. It's not creative. They've had quarterbacks that don't know how to use the whole field with how they throw the football. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to bring that to the table. I think their O-line's in a good spot. I think the Steelers are breaking molds a little bit, bringing DK Metcalf in, paying him what they had. That's not a usual type of business type of thing from them. I think they realize that the good teams in football are aggressive right now, and they got to do that. They put themselves in a little bit of a bad spot with the quarterback situation with Rodgers and basically being desperate for him, but he's going to make them at least capable of winning a playoff game if they can get there.
I think Joe Burrow's going to shoulder a little extra pressure because he went out on a limb. He went to management. He said, I got to have these guys. Now, he didn't get Trey Hendrickson, at least not yet. But, the Bengals' reputation kind of precedes them.
Yeah.
You got to have some defense here because you're not going to win that many shootouts in the NFL.
No, it's tough to do that. Now, he's special enough to where I think you'd probably be with me, and I know, people that I do Football Night America, Jason Garrett, Devin McCourty. I mean, at the end of the year last year, we were all like, oh, my gosh, if the Bengals get in the playoffs, they might go to the Super Bowl with how he played and did all that. I love Joe Burrow that he keeps the pressure on the organization. He has to. He's got to continue. The Bengals just can't get out of their own way. I mean, they messed up last offseason, and here they are trying to mess it all up once again. And it's incredible. They're in a window with the best player they've had in their franchise history. Joe Burrow is by far the biggest thing that's ever happened to the Cincinnati Bengals. And that's not taking anything away from awesome Boomer Esiason and everybody else that's been there. But Burrow, as you know, is a superstar. He's an international superstar. He's one of the best quarterbacks in football. It's not even close. And I love the comments he made about Trey Hendrickson. I hope he continues to say things like that. Them doing what they're doing with Trey Hendrickson, what they're doing with their first-round pick, Shamar Stewart, who's a raw freak of nature athlete who would benefit from learning from Trey Hendrickson and getting his game because they're going to need him to play right away. They're hurting both players right now by screwing up the Shamar Stewart contract situation and not having him out there and the Trey Hendrickson one. I just don't understand it.
Your alma mater, Texas, of course, has Arch Manning there. And I'm wondering, the Saints right now, DraftKings has them as the team with the second fewest wins this upcoming season.
Yeah.
Let's say they have the worst record in football. They're on the clock, and Arch Manning, that's his hometown team. And do you think that would be enough for him to leave when it felt like he was going to probably be there for 2 years at Texas?
I don't know. They're a smart family. They're not going to chase pipe dreams. We know that. Even though it would be really cool to say, man, Archie Manning's playing quarterback for the same team as the other Archie Manning played for, his grandfather. That would be amazing. But I think they're into their education, the Manning family. They're into making sure we get enough reps at the college level to make sure when we get to the NFL, we're ready to go. So I don't think they'll be rushed by any type of scenario, right? If they feel like Arch is really ready and he's polished and ready to go, then I'm sure they'll send him out in the draft. But if they're like, hey, you only get to go to college once, there's a few things you need to work on here, you want to win a national championship, I expect him to be there 2 years. I do. And I'm expecting big things from him, but I do love him, and I think he's in that conversation of what you're talking about, one of the top quarterbacks in football this year, along with that Nussmeier kid at LSU. I look at him and go, man, I think he's got some talent as well. It'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out.
In 2 years, will Arch Manning be the first quarterback taken?
I would say so. Yes. That's where I expect him to stay this year, get the experience. Texas dominates college football, right? And hopefully he comes back and we dominate football one more time on top of that. And we just remind everybody who the Longhorns are.
Where are you on the all-time list for touchdown passes at Texas?
Man, I want to say I'm top 5. Quinn Ewers, I think, just passed me up in some ways or whatever.
Major Applewhite number 1 on that list?
I don't know if he's number 1, but I think he's a little above me as far as touchdowns are concerned. Yeah,
yes, Paulie.
I think so.
Number 5 is Chris Sims with 58. Number 4 is Major Applewhite with 60. Quinn Ewers, 68 in the third spot. Sam Erlinger, 94 touchdown passes.
Yeah, all those I think if you took my rushing touchdowns, I'd probably pass up Major Applewhite.
Colt McCoy, 112.
Oh,
yeah, that's right.
Colt McCoy.
Well, what did Vince Young have? What did he have? I mean,
only
it seemed 44. Like he had 100.
Yeah.
Damn, I felt like he had 100 touchdowns just in that one season. Holy crap!
Against USC.
Exactly right. But yeah, it's one of the. Hey, listen, I'm proud of my time at Texas. We didn't win a national championship, but we had a good run, and that was a damn good team we were on.
And you got paid, and you showed up in a limo the first day.
Yeah, and you're a jerk, and that's not exactly how it went down.
Did you show up in a limo?
No, I did not. I showed up in a bus that said limo bus, okay? But it was a bus, all right?
So was it a party bus?
It was. It was like we had to rent something from the hotel, and it was like one of those party buses that said limo bus on the side, and just the older guys on the team just took that and ran with it, and I can never fight it off for as long as I live.
And a stripper pole in the party bus.
It wasn't there. I've seen a few of those polls in my day, but it wasn't in that bus, all right?
Thank you, Chris.
Always.
And that's Chris Sims, Pro Football Talk Live co-host, Football Night in America, also his Unbuttoned podcast. We'll take a break. Last call for phone calls. What we learned, what's in store tomorrow after this.